Hey guys, so this is the weekly vlog. So not too much has changed since last week's vlog. I have released two pretty big videos though. The first being the first true episode of Noob to Node War, which is now the working title. Road to 400 gear score is a decent title, but because I'm probably going to be continuing this once I hit 400 gear score, I don't want to have to start a new series just to call it Road to 450 gear score, especially because it's only going to be from 400 to 450. So I thought Noob to Node War was a better title, and then I can just make a subtitle and call it Season 2 when I'm going for 450. So it's doing fairly well. It's got almost 3,000 views, which isn't bad for the series. I believe the other one is about to hit 6,000, but this one isn't doing too badly, and I released it at a fairly weird time too. I released it right before Sunday ticked over to Monday, whereas last one I released Sunday morning, which was a much better time to release it. But I didn't want to infringe too much upon the gearing up, which I released the day before, which I released in the afternoon, and I really felt deserved a full day unimpeded just to itself without having to compete with other big videos. King's Raid stuff, still doing abysmal compared to Black Desert, but I don't ever expect King's Raid stuff to do well. It's just kind of a way for me to make filler videos and little extra stuff for the channel. I kind of use it to cool down or relax after Black Desert stuff. I will be making some Sea of Thieves stuff this week, so if I go way back when to Sea of Thieves, so just search here, you can see that while most of them are not doing too great, the controls has gone up to 1,600 views, and the weapons of Sea of Thieves has hit 6,087 views, which is pretty huge. That's a lot for a non-Black Desert thing on this channel. That's huge. So I know other big YouTubers have been doing it for a week now, and I'm kind of a week late, but I'm going to be making just normal kind of guides. I'm not really going to be making too many gameplay videos or anything. This was a lot of fun to make, but it also took forever and very little reward for it. And while it was fun to make, I should probably focus a bit more on doing stuff like that in Black Desert or in other games. So I think Sea of Thieves will be the third official game on the channel for a while. I'm not sure if I'll take it off the channel eventually or if I'll just make a ton of guides and then switch to other things. But for now, I will be making Sea of Thieves videos for at least the foreseeable future. Now, don't worry, all my Black Desert fans, they will not be overtaking Black Desert. They will not be the weekend videos. Those are still dedicated to Black Desert. And I do have a little surprise coming for you guys. I'm thinking Thursday night. That's when I should be uploading the first video from a brand new... Well, it's kind of brand new, it's kind of not brand new. You'll see when the video uploads on Thursday night. I'll kind of see how the reception is, and then I'll continue uploading the rest of the videos every week, but I might not make a new set of the same video. We'll see how it goes. I know I'm kind of being cryptic, but I don't want to give too much away, although I think viewers that have been watching these updates for the last few weeks should probably know what it is. So, apart from that, so let's just go back to the normal videos here. Yeah, we'll just go to playlists and then we'll go back to normal videos. Apart from that, not too much else big has happened since the last weekly update. So you can see, including this video, we will have, I want to say exactly 7 videos this week, although 3 of them were King's Raid and 2 of them were patch notes videos. So I was a little lazier this week than other weeks, but I did do 2. It's because for most of the week I was working on these 2 videos. Both of them required scripts, both of them were fairly long videos, and I was also doing other stuff for the Musa kind of to prepare for episode 2, which will release next week. I'm thinking Sunday is probably going to be the general day that I release the Noob to Node War series, probably Sunday morning if I can swing it most days. Maybe a bit later in the day for others, but for the most part, it should be out sometime on Sunday for Noob to Node War. I'd like to kind of get a consistent early Sunday, like the last one, like 7 a.m., but I can't guarantee anything, so kind of bear with me here. Yeah, so I didn't really release too many videos this week. I mean, 7 videos is obviously a lot, but with the exception of these 2, the rest of them were fairly small because these 2 did take a lot of time, editing, and effort. So, I do have a reason for why I was lazy. Apart from that, we did do another Node War this week. It didn't last long. I got home from work a little late, and I got on my computer at 9:01, and the guild kind of told me not to come to the Node War because we somehow sniped Baka. and they beat us in 6 minutes. So yeah, that didn't go too well. We also had another node war. I'm trying to think who it was against. Was that last week actually that the last node war was? I don't think so. I think it was only a couple days ago. We didn't win that one either, but oh well. Winning node wars for us is kind of a luxury. We sometimes win them, but usually we don't. But as our guild slowly gears up, we are doing better. We are trying to recruit some more PvP-oriented players, so like 500 plus gear score. But we're a fairly laid-back guild. We don't really want to give up any of the kind of guild atmosphere we have for just so that we can get some better players. And we're kind of happy with the players we have, and we don't want to kick anyone just because they don't meet certain gear score requirements. So we don't have an absolute requirement. We do try to make sure that new players are 450 or above, but as long as we can see the players are actively improving and trying to get better and grinding, we're usually fairly okay with accepting them into the guild. So yeah, that's how the guild is going. Apart from that, so if I go to the analytics here, I've kind of confirmed this week that the average views per day is about 5,000 if I don't release anything. So I just go to daily here. You can see the lowest this week was the 23rd, which I want to say was Friday, and that only had 5,300 views. And then the 22nd, Thursday, only had 6,000 views. So if I don't release a video, I average about 5,000 views a day. And obviously that's also kind of as long as I've released decent videos the week before that can kind of draw off the tail. Like if I go, let's just go to weekly. Stay with daily, but we'll go to this one. Can I go to the last 7 days? No, I can't. So you can see that it kind of drifts off. Like it starts, Saturday is usually pretty good. Sunday is usually the best day of the week because it benefits from both Saturdays and Sundays videos. And then it usually drops down. Monday usually gets a decent runoff just because Saturday and Sunday's videos continue into Monday. Tuesday is usually not great, but not bad. Wednesday gets a nice little infusion from the patch notes videos. Otherwise, it'd be worse. Thursday, not great. Friday is usually the worst day, actually, because people are usually pretty busy on Friday. They're doing other things. Saturday does well again, and of course, Sunday is the best day. So Sunday should be somewhere up here, actually. It should be like 12,000, maybe 13,000. It did fairly well, from what I recall. I don't have the exact number yet, obviously, because it hasn't uploaded, but it did fairly well. And as you can see, for the last week, the views, Lawn is actually doing really well, an intro to the Lawn, which is kind of surprising, because it is a video I wanted to make for a while, but I was really lazy with it in terms of when I made it, and so I kind of expected everyone to have already seen all the stuff about the Lawn. But I suppose that's a problem I have as a creator, that I kind of assume a lot of people have the same amount of information as I do. I spend several hours a day kind of browsing the web, absorbing all this new information, reading all these forum threads. I'm a really fast reader as well. So I don't want to say that I know a lot more than other people. It's not like I'm smarter than them. It's just I spend a lot more time finding stuff out and kind of sorting that information. And kind of assume that everyone does, but a lot of people don't do that. So I'm trying to get better about that. I'm trying to make videos on things that I kind of assume, especially because one of my bad habits is when I assume things in a video, and then people are like in the comments, oh, but how did you do this, or how do I do this? And I've got to be like, oh, right, I really didn't explain that, did I? So I am trying to get better about that. Intro to Lawn, one of those videos, I didn't expect to do as well as it did. It's doing really well, and I'm really happy about that. Beginner's Guide is always a perennial performer. It's down to about 400 to 500 views a day, unfortunately, and this is my big project for the month of April is going to be the Beginner's Guide. So for this coming week, the big projects are episode 2 and the Money Making Guide, and I've also got a few other small videos for Black Desert that I'm planning to do as well. But for the month of April, I want to remake the Beginner's Guide, and especially now that I've seen just how well the gearing guide did, like gearing up in 2018. Like the previous gearing guide, so I go to Video Manager, is one of my best videos ever. It's, I want to say, about 18,000 views. But I released it in October of 2017. It has had November, December, January, February, March, 5 months to accumulate that many views. In just 2 days, the new gearing guide is already at over half the number of views that the original has. So I mean, obviously, I'm trying to compare apples and oranges here. The original didn't have the advantage of the channel doing really well, of all these new subscribers. When I released the original, I think I had like less than 100 subscribers. So I mean, it's got a lot of advantages compared to the original, like the new one. But it's also a better guide. I learned from all what I've done. It's still, like, I didn't do any editing for it or anything. It was purely me standing on the hilltop showing people stuff in the marketplace. But my voice is a lot clearer now. I've got a better microphone, using better recording software. I've got 16 gigabytes of RAM now. I still need a new graphics card, but I'm really, like, I've got the money now. I have the money for a new graphics card, but I really want the prices to drop. Like, the prices for a new graphics card in Canada right now, I mean, everywhere, because miners, but in Canada, it's like $900 if I want a good 1080, and even if I just want like a 1060 or 1070, it's still, I could afford it, but I don't want to pay that much money. Like, I do have student loans to pay off, I do have rent and everything, and even though I've set the money aside, it really just kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth to spend almost double what I really should have to spend if it was being sold for a manufacturer's suggested retail price. So, kind of hoping for graphics card prices to come down. At this rate, I might even just wait for the next generation. But if the sounds my computer makes starts to become too much of an issue with videos, like you can kind of hear it in this video, if you really listen, you can kind of hear the whir of my computer in the background as it struggles to render Black Desert and record at the same time without spontaneously combusting. But as long as it doesn't become too big of an issue, I'll probably just stick with my current graphics card. It is a 970, which isn't bad. If it becomes a bigger issue, though, I will just bite the bullet and buy a brand new, probably a 1070 or a 1080. For now, though, the 970 is still serviceable. So apart from that, yeah, so really the lesson that I took from this is if I remake some of the old guides, now that I'm better at it, know what I want to do, know how to do it, they will perform better. So fail stacking, I don't really need to remake just yet because I did that pretty much with the Getting Gear to Try quick demonstration video. Now, I will probably do a new video on fail stacking, and I'm thinking it will be once I get an unupgraded Dandelion. So once I get an unupgraded Dandelion, if I'm unsuccessful in winning bids for a Try or Tet Dandelion, I will accumulate all the items I reasonably need to get to Try, and then I will just go for Try. I will, from 0 to Try, all in one video. I'll have the Valk stacks already, so I'm not really going to be showing all the fail stacking, but all in one video. I'll probably do like some initial fail stacks and then just use the Valk stacks for the rest of the video, just so the video doesn't go too long, and I'll try to get it to Try within the span of a single video. Of course, it will require editing, I'll have to speed stuff up, but that is the plan anyways. And that should replace the fail stacking guide, although I will do an actual updated version of this sometime in the future. It's not a priority though, because this is actually still a fairly good guide for fail stacking, and I don't really feel the need to replace it just yet. Gearing up, I just replaced that. I'm not going to take the old one down, but I should probably put in the description that I have remade it. Also, thanks to a German game advisor, apparently when I saved the timestamps, it didn't save, and thus there were no timestamps on the brand new gearing guide, even though I said there would be. So I took some time today and did that after he pointed that out. So there should be timestamps on the gearing guide now. If there still aren't, like it's showing up on my end, but they're still not showing up on anyone else's end, just tell me, and I'll see if I can fix it. But apart from that, the gearing guide, I remade that. The Oslo set is one of the newer ones, so I don't need to remake that. I already remade the Worker Empire ones. Where are those? So yeah, so I've got Building a Processing Empire right here. And I've got a step-by-step guide somewhere down here, I want to say. Yeah, a step-by-step guide to creating your Worker Empire. So those are, they're kind of like remakes. They're not actually remakes, but they kind of do the job of being remakes, which is what I really want anyways. Apart from that, Guide to the Dark Knight doesn't really need a remake. The Dark Knight hasn't really changed at all since I made this video. Guide to the Musa. Once my Musa hits 58, 59, maybe 60, I'll probably remake this, just to show advanced combos, but it won't be like a complete remake. It'll be more of a advanced guide to the Musa. So once you hit 58, 59, here's some of the cool new combos you can do. Here's the true final form Musa combo, and just any other little helpful tips and tricks I pick up as I go back to Musa. It's actually doing pretty well though. It's almost 11,000 views. People are coming back to the Musa, which is nice to see, especially with how poorly the Striker video is doing. I think it's at like 2,000 or 3,000 views now, but it's still not doing amazingly. And I don't really think there's not too many other guides I want to create. Like, recreating the money-making guide is one of the big ones. It's way back when the money-making guide was money-making methods in Black Desert was actually one of my biggest videos, but it really has not done well for itself. Like, I can actually go to the analytics for it. So I go to views and I'll just drag it way back to lifetime. And sort by views, it should be down here somewhere. Here it is. So, money-making methods in Black Desert. It's always been kind of a steady one, but it's also a really low steady one, especially for the topic. Money-making methods is one of the most talked about things in Black Desert. When you come to search up Black Desert stuff on YouTube, people usually come for one of 3 or 4 things. What class should I play? A video I'm in the process of making. I've got the scripts for it. I've had the scripts for it for over a month now, but I'm just still trying to hunt down footage for every class just so I can have footage for every class. If I really get lazy, I might just end up making it at the class creation screen like I did in the beginner's guide. But I would really like to make one with actual footage of the classes to kind of show people what they do. They come for guides on how to play classes, guides on what they should be doing in the game gear-wise, and of course guides on how to make money in the game. And to make money, there's of course a bunch of different subsets of guides. You've got your worker empires, you've got your life skills, you've got grinding, but it all kind of boils down to how to make money. And so a video like this, how to make money in Black Desert, really should be doing better than about 60 to 100 views a day, less on certain bad days. It's just kind of perennially been a low performer, and it really did peak back in January. Like, it did okay on 2 separate days recently in March, but for the most part it peaked back in January and has really never become kind of the performer I wanted it to be, especially when you consider that Gearing Up, the original, is this one? Yeah, here it is. Also peaked in January, but has also perennially done better than money making. Like, it's always been better. Now it's the new views should mostly be going to the brand new Gearing Up guide, but even so, like, this one's always been a really good one. Money making has just kind of always been somewhat of a disappointment compared to what I believe it should have been capable of. Apart from that, Cacao limiting the number of pen items really kind of capped on its first 4 or 5 days, and ever since has kind of settled down. But that's how opinion videos kind of are. Like, any videos like this, I want to say the memory fragment conundrum, yeah, here it is fairly similar, although it does kind of have small spikes whenever we have a new, I don't want to say batch, but kind of a new drought of memory fragments. This will see a spike, and then it'll go back to earning very low number of views per day, and then it'll get another spike. That's kind of how opinion videos work. As long as they're relevant for the first couple of days, they'll get a bunch of views, especially on the first day as people press on them. I try not to make super clickbaity titles, but I make titles that people will want to press. And they'll click on them for the first few days, and then after that they kind of drop off the face of the earth. No one clicks on them anymore, and they don't really climb in views super hard as compared to something such as the beginner's guide here, which has capped out at over 2,000 views in a single day before. It's had multiple days at above 1,000. Recently it's down around 400, which is unfortunate, but it is an old video. People want to see a new one, and that is why for April my biggest goal is going to be recreating this video. And by recreating, I mean making a better version, so updating it really. Let's actually, I've never actually clicked on the Dark Knight one. Let's see how this one's done over its career. Oh, wow, that's actually not bad. This is, Guide to the Dark Knight was actually kind of surprised me because it didn't do too well in its first couple of days. Like, its first couple of days, it underperformed. But its first couple of days were also in November. Like, this is an older video. So it kind of grew with the channel in December, spiked up in January, had its biggest day ever at the end of January, and ever since then, it's been a very steady earner. Now, of course, the big problem with class guides is class guides are kind of tied to the success of the class in general. Musa, like if I could actually go back here, Guide to the Musa, has recently seen a spike as a lot more players are playing Musa. The Musa as a class is a very fun class. It's very cool. It's one of the more popular classes among new players, but more experienced players usually drop Musa, and even new players didn't stick with Musa just because it felt weak. Now that Musa has been updated a little, it's received some buffs in subsequent patches, and people noticed how powerful it is thanks to the brand new AP scalings at top levels. Musa is seeing a resurgence in interest, and thus the Guide to the Musa is doing better. It's always done okay at about 100 views a day, but it's doing even better now, and hopefully it stays that way. A little, almost narcissistically even, I have kind of a hope that my brand new series will kind of drive some traffic to my Musa guide, but I don't really feel it's going to do too much for it. Guide to the Striker, it's done better recently. But this has honestly been one of my biggest disappointments of a video ever. It started off really strong, 414 views in a day, which wasn't amazing for February. I was hoping for better, but it wasn't terrible. And then it dropped hard, like less than 40 views a day for the majority of its lifetime. Recently, it's been doing a bit better, as the channel's been doing better in March. But even so, this is one of my biggest disappointments as a class guide in general. I've been kind of put off doing class guides, honestly, just because of how badly this video did. If anyone wants to really see a class guide, post in the description, but I can't promise it'll be an amazing one. It'll probably just be a level 56 pre-awakening combos, level 56 combos, and what you can expect at endgame for the class, which is kind of the style I try to do my guides for classes on anyways. I don't try to do these super advanced, this is how you play at 200 plus AP, these are your super advanced level 60 combos and your exact use of Node Wars, just because that's not content a lot of players can really use. If you're coming to YouTube for a guide, generally it's one of two things for class. It's going to be, how do I play the class, like in general, or I want to know advanced combos. And I try to cater, there's kind of a lack in Black Desert, the Black Desert community, of guides for newer players to kind of take advantage of for their pre-awakening and their first combos as awakening, whereas there are a lot of higher level players that are dedicated to a specific class willing to do advanced guides for combos. So I mean, I try to stick to the basic stuff, but for Musa and Dark Knight, I might make advanced guides once I hit 60, if I hit 60 on them. Dark Knight will hit 60 probably sometime in April. Musa, no idea when I'll hit 60. It all depends on how hard I grind, and I hate grinding, but I am grinding a lot more for the brand new series, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, this video is one of my biggest disappointments, honestly. Oh, and one more video I'm going to be remaking is Enhancing versus Sniping, as this was one of my videos that's actually done, this was one of my first videos that did really well just right off the bat. It got, in its first 2 days, it got almost 100 views, which back in October was huge for me. This 100 views in October was a huge deal. And I mean, it looks like it dropped off with 9, 9, and 6 for the next 3 days, but realistically for the channel at the time, this video is doing incredibly well. And then of course, just like all my other videos, it kind of peaked at the end of January, well, all my other old videos, and then has been a steady about 20, 30 view a day video for the rest of its lifetime. But if I can remake this one, I mean, it's not like it's a long video, it's a fairly simple topic, but there's a lot of nuance to it, and there's quite a few different angles to explore as players, so I do think I will remake this video sometime in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I'm not too sure when though. But yeah, so opinion videos, with the exception of ones that are always relevant, usually an opinion video is only relevant for a couple of days, and then it will drop off, and people will stop watching. It's the same with news videos too. Like if I look at the Rabom's skills coming to North America, 1,500 views on the first day, 60 on the second, and then it hasn't had pretty much any views at all. It had 0 views on the 23rd and the 22nd, 1 view on the other days, and this is a video with almost 1,700 views. Like it got all its views in the first day and then nothing. Which, I mean, it's a super lazy video, but even so. Do I have any others like that? Patch notes are generally like that. Patch notes, they get all their views on the first day and then nothing later on. But that makes sense because patch notes videos, you only really need to read up on a patch note when it's relevant, because any changes made in the patch note could be changed again in a later patch note. So you don't need to look at earlier patch notes to really get a sense of what happened. Event videos are kind of similar. They get a few views during the duration of the event, and once the event's over, they get dropped down to nothing. I'm really looking for another opinion video here. Don't see any though. There's probably one right in front of me that I just can't see, because honestly, I'm blind to things that are right in front of me. Here's one. Server lag and controversy. So just like enhancing versus sniping, this one was another one that did really well on its first day for the channel, and then dropped off to nothing. And it's always been pretty much nothing. After its initial success, with 157 views on its second day, it dropped to nothing. And that's kind of what opinion videos do. But I mean, you can't expect too much from an opinion video. Opinion videos are kind of videos that you are made to either cash in on a current event or controversy, or to give your own opinion on goings-on in the game. I haven't made any opinion videos recently, apart from the limiting pen items, just because most of the recent goings-on in Black Desert haven't really pertained to me. Like the big fuss concerning Man Up and Vertex taking Valencia finally doesn't really pertain to me because I'm not a Siege Guild player, and honestly, I mean, I care about the scene of PvP in Black Desert, obviously, because I love PvP, but how to put it, really? At that level, PvP is a lot more... PvP at that level is much different from PvP at lower levels. It's a level where you're going to get one comboed pretty much no matter how much DP you have, especially with the current AP meta. It's a level where classes that are pretty bad at lower levels, such as Musa, become incredible. It's a level... It's just kind of like far removed from the average player. Like, it's kind of... not kind of is. It is the 1%, or really the 0.1%, that are living in a different world from the rest of us that play the game. The rest of us that play the game, we kind of hope for try maybe a Tet weapon or armor. We get happy when we earn maybe 100 million silver, and we like fair fights that can drag out for a minute or two, with kind of dips in health between both sides getting crowd controls. At that level, it's one side gets a crowd control and one shot's the other side. Guards can be broken in. Like, it's just a different game once you get to that level. And honestly, I would love for the state of PvP in Black Desert to kind of change to more balanced, more class balance, more just kind of thought put into it in general. But there's not much I can personally do to change it. And I very much doubt that Cacao is or Pearl Abyss are going to change the core game mechanics just because some YouTuber with less than 3,000 subs made some videos on it. And also, I'm not really qualified to take part in high-level PvP decisions just because I don't do high-level PvP. I do mid-level PvP and low-level PvP at times, but that's a different matter. So, as much as I would like to make an opinion video on it, there are better qualified people that have already made videos on the very subject, and there will be stuff coming up soon, I'm sure, that I can weigh in on much more effectively than I can on this matter. Now, as to videos I can make, I'm actually considering testing the waters this week with a new style of video, and that would be a hypothetical style of video. So what I mean by hypothetical is not a who would win, but more of a which is the most powerful class lore-wise in Black Desert, which is the most powerful region in Black Desert, or most powerful kingdoms, stuff like that, really. I'll be testing the waters this week, kind of gauging the reaction on the channel, and I hope that I can get relevant comments to see if people like that style of video. And I'll probably also expand it to other games or fandoms later on if it gets a good reaction. But for now, I'm just going to be kind of testing it out this week and seeing how it goes. Anyways, I think this has kind of gone on for long enough. This week, I would say it's going to be pretty exciting, but I mean, it's not going to be that exciting. It's got episode 2 coming up. It's got the remade money-making guide coming up. And a little surprise Thursday night. But apart from that, I can't really think of much else that's happening. So I mean, I suppose the surprise could be exciting, depending on how you see it. It is for Black Desert, don't worry, it's not a new game, it's not King's Raid, it's not Sea of Thieves. It is Black Desert for all you Black Desert fans watching this. And hopefully it's well received. Anyways guys, thanks for watching this update video, and have a good one.